To another exciting day of us going live. Today, we're going to talk about the fact that Charlotte has over 200 neighborhoods and
God,
so many.
that's a lot. Damn.
That's more than five. Um, so many neighborhoods to choose from, and many of them look perfect online. However, when I was trying to find a place to live, and I'm sure you can relate too, uh, it's hard to know which ones are going to actually fit for what you want because most of the neighborhoods that Charlotte had to offer were just not what I was looking for one reason or another. And so we've worked with relocation buyers here for the last 4.5 years. And in that time, we've helped a lot of people to make Charlotte home. And so we're going to walk you through the exact areas that we chose to live in and why, and also talk about some of the overrated, top rated, overrated areas that we decided not to move to, just for what we were individually looking for, and also conversations we have with clients all the time. So, biggest thing, at least that I wanted to talk about, was that Charlotte isn't like there's not good areas or bad areas so much as there are fit versus a mismatch. So there's so many options to choose from. When people are looking at moving here, one of the things that I talk about all the time is like there's always an area that will be a good fit for you because there's so many options to choose from that are so different. But also, there are many areas that are just not going to be a fit for most people because again, out of 200 plus options, there's a lot of different lifestyles, and many of them are probably just not going to be what you're looking for. So,
As they say, you don't want to be dipping in the Kool-Aid and not knowing the flavor.
amen. So, the big takeaways, for the most part, people, you can pick the wrong house, but usually it's that a house is the wrong house because you're not getting to have the right lifestyle and the right full package that you're looking for. And so we're going to talk again, like very specifically through how people end up in the wrong area, how people choose the right area, and apply that to whatever you might be looking for. So number one, this is probably the biggest one, especially a lot of the questions that we've gotten since ChatGPT launched and just AI in general. AI is really good at some things, like it's very good at language-based things. However, one of the things that I've noticed is location-based things. There's like language is looking at a chain of words, right? And being able to see what makes sense relative to those words. But if you don't live in the area, you're just regurgitating what other people are saying online, which may or may not actually be accurate. Because as we all know, if you see a Taco Bell that's 4 stars, then it's pretty good Taco Bell, even though 4 stars is a miserable rating.
And that's kind of the double-edged sword of social media, right? Where everyone's saying the same stuff with so much conviction, like they know it, but they haven't really lived it or walked it. There's one thing to see it online and even do a virtual tour, but there's nothing like boots on the ground. Boots on the ground. These shoes is made for walking. That's just what they'll do.
They'll keep on walking.
And one day these shoes are gonna walk right over you. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, you gotta come down here. You have to actually see it and walk it and smell the air, and know it's for you. We had a actually a client of mine. Shout out, a potential client. She's decided to stay. Shout out Isis from Texas. Was coming out here looking for walkability. She saw South End, and wanted to be in the South End for the walkability, and came down here to come see how it was, and it wasn't exactly what she thought. She liked it, but she was not able to find a townhouse that was big enough to hold her truck. They're in Texas, so they got big trucks over there. So,
Trucks in Texas, everything's bigger in Texas.
But when the picture is, it looks good. But when she came in, we made a little plan for her, a little itinerary. We checked this out, and she was just like, well, it's not for her. Now we're looking for another place because we're international. We're gonna help her find a house wherever she wants to go. So you gotta come. You gotta see it for yourself. Take a little 3-day trip. We have another one coming out. Shout out Myra in Massachusetts. It's coming out here.
Yep.
I'm gonna take a look as well. So it's just you gotta come.
And when you're doing the research process before actually visiting too, like one of the reasons we do lives is so that you know that we actually know what we're talking about and not just regurgitating AI slop. Because so many, I won't name names, but I will say the majority of the content you see online right now is not written by people that have lived it. It is written by people that have ChatGPT'd it. So
you have a lot of AI slop professionals out here who are professionally.
it's a career now.
Professionally sloppy, so so look out for that.
That's what I'm saying. All right, so number one, a lot of times things will not, like what you see online is not necessarily what you're going to see in real life. And so I'd say probably the biggest offender of this sort of thing in particular is whenever you see rank lists online. At best, and Andrew chuckled for a reason because it's so common.
Yeah.
Whenever you see rank lists for anything, how are they ranking it? How are they measuring what they're using to rank it? Like, I was an engineer before real estate, right? So I dealt a lot with data. I like data. Data tells a story, but sometimes data only tells part of the story. And anyways, rank lists particularly, niche.com is one of the ones I'd say a lot of people reference. And there's some useful stuff on niche.com, especially when you're going and like reading through what people have said to get a general feel for an individual neighborhood or town. If you're looking at Huntersville versus Denver versus Monroe versus Ballantyne versus Gastonia, you're trying to get a comparison between them. It can be a useful tool. Now, if you're trying to take it as gospel for the rank of whatever the best school is, you're probably going to get into trouble because that is an average of like what is the overall best? What's the overall best given some average set of criteria for how you're going to rank it? It's not what is actually the best for you, for what you're looking for what's important to your family, what's important to your kids, what activities are they looking for as an example. And so the best way to get that sort of data is to talk to the people that are actually working in the schools, talk to parents of people that have kids in the schools, actually get connected with somebody that can connect you with those people and give you some perspective. And again, we're somewhat limited on what we can personally say regarding schools because of compliance, but we are able to give you all the tools and resources that you need to be able to understand what's truly going to be the best fit for you. And most importantly, to bring this all the way back home, pun intended, is it's going to give you a real picture of what your life, not what the average life, but what your life in that particular area will actually be like, so that you can decide whether or not that sounds pretty cool or like an existence that you just don't want to subscribe to.
And as Confucius says, the first rule to finding your house and knowing your house is to know yourself.
Know thyself.
You have to know yourself and know what you want for your family, or you're going to be taking anything. You don't even know. If you don't know where you're going, then you don't even know when you get there. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest thing that we see. A lot of people are going off the hype and having other people tell them what they like, and they come out here and they realize, oh, I don't really like to be in the limelight all the time, and be uptown and kind of like a little peaceful life, So know yourself, my friends. Be like water.
100%. So number one is actually getting a feel for what it's like in real life and not just going off of what it looks like online. Number two is sometimes people look at a particular, like, okay, if you got to commute somewhere, if you have family that's going to be somewhere, there are areas that are closer in proximity. Just if you take a measuring tape, it's going to be closer. But it's not necessarily going to be the best fit for what you're looking for. And so if you have to look at, like, what's it called, a Venn diagram, the overlap?
Yeah,
the Venn diagram between what is going to give you the lifestyle you're looking for, what's going to fit within your budget, and also what is going to have the amenities and the future amenities that match what you're looking for. So there's a lot of different factors. I feel like honestly all of it kind of falls under lifestyle, but a lot of people have a very specific idea of what lifestyle, quote unquote, is. Proximity to your job, as an example, is one of those things that contributes to lifestyle. But so is if you like to walk, you need a place that you can walk. And so if you're looking for a place that's going to be, have greenways, nature trails, that sort of thing, and is also going to have good schools, like that's a common combination of requests we get. Guess what? There's only certain places that are going to give you both. BOAF, both.
Both. No, I had one of our clients that came in off the YouTube was Huntersville. We want to be by Lake Norman. Blah, 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 blah. That's what we saw online, and I was like, okay, and based on what they were asking for, I'm just like, well, do you want to be in Huntersville or do you want to be by a lake? And that's now we get to the bottom of it. It's okay. We just want to be by the lake. We're looking to retire. And it's like, okay, well, we have another lake golf community right here in Lancaster, South Carolina, a little bit lower that they didn't know about. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they were following the hype of this one thing, and then but the real source wasn't the Lake Norman or it was actually just the lake. You know what I mean? So
and they wanted something that'd be quieter. So if they were on Lake Norman, they would have got way too much boat traffic, way too much regular traffic for what they were looking. And then we've also had clients that are looking for being on the water, and they like being around people. They like to be at a variety of different restaurants in 10 minutes. Well, guess what? That's going to be tough down at that particular community, Edgewater. Mm-hmm. So you gotta take all the different pieces and parts that are important to you, and again, construct what does that Venn diagram look like for you. That's what we help all of our clients do in order to get clarity, because it's just objectively it's the right way to approach it to make sure that you're going to be happy.
And another example, we have another client, Mr. Todd and Lindsay. Shout out to Todd and Lindsay. Yep. Moving here from Virginia, and they were looking for a lakeside community as well, and they were thinking of Huntersville, and I told them about Brookdale Village, and I had Todd go check it out, and it was a Saturday, and he went out there after we showed some houses, and he was cursing me out later. He was like, God damn it, why'd you send me over here? I was in traffic the whole time. I didn't even get out the car, and, so he was just like, well, he liked the area. It was very beautiful, but it was just too much traffic for him. Ended up deciding, instead of going north, he went down to the south and ended up going on a contract on a house in the Palisades. Because it was slower pace, still by the water, still lake view, but it's less people. You know what I mean? So that's the difference, folks.
Yep, 100%. Yeah. So proximity is going to be that second mistake a lot of people make, but the third, and I feel like we already touched on this a little bit, is just because you hear a name and you've heard a name from a lot of people doesn't necessarily mean that the name of that area, the name is not magical. So you hear a lot of times about South End, about Noda, about Matthews and Mint Hill. You hear about Huntersville. And so while it's true those areas have high demand for a reason, one of the reasons that all the known areas have high demand is because they're known. It's branding. Okay, I'll give you an example. I'm from Indianapolis. One of the suburbs north of Indianapolis is Carmel, Indiana. That place has been ranked, I think, 4 out of the last 5 years as the number one suburb to raise a family in the U.S. And I don't know, I grew up 10 minutes from here. I don't know who they paid off to get ranked as number one in the U.S. Whatever they paid to get it ranked number one, they got a deal. I'll tell you that. It's a nice place to live, but it's not number one. I can think of a couple areas in Charlotte that are substantially nicer.
And funny story, I didn't know that was a real thing where I had I'm not going to say the name, but I had this this chiropractor I was gonna go work for, and I'm a massage therapist, but I don't do it as much anymore because real estate is better. But you had all these plaques and awards on their wall, and then I was talking to somebody else about it. Come to find out, they paid the people to give them the award. And they're making up these awards, and they're paying to be inaugurated or whatever, just to be able to post this thing. So it's just like, who is making these awards, and you know what I mean? So it's just like, man.
Same thing in real estate too. Anytime you see like real producer or top producer in people's bio, everybody paid for that. That's one of the reasons why, like, some people are like, oh, like, I've only had one person ask about it ever, but like, oh, I didn't see you listed on. Yeah, because I don't pay for it.
We gotta pay.
Like, if you look up sales production volume in the MLS, you look at the actual like root source of the data, not just marketing. Like, we are top 1%.
That's where you'll find us. That's where you'll find us.
Yeah, not top 1% of people that paid X number of dollars to be on some arbitrary. Yeah, I can keep going. Same thing with suburbs and towns. And so oftentimes in those well-known areas, you're going to see higher price per square foot. You're going to see smaller homes. You're going to make more compromises. And sometimes, again, they become popular for a reason. Usually there are some really, really good positives to them that outweigh any of the negatives for certain people, right? But just because some people, or even many people, come to that conclusion doesn't mean that necessarily it's the right decision for you. And so we're looking at what is the actual price per square foot, what are the home options, what are the community options, because there's a lot of different communities to choose from in the entire Charlotte market, no matter what you're looking for. So like, one of the common requests, especially amongst more affluent clients that we get, is they want to be in a gated, preferably 24-hour guarded community. Guess what? If that's what you're looking for, there are only a handful of communities in Charlotte that will give you that. There are only a handful. And so if that is a non-negotiable for you, you're only going to have so many communities to pick from. And if you're saying, we're going to look at this area because we heard about this area, you're going to end up going down a research trail that's not going to take you where you want to go. And, we don't want you to waste a lot of time doing that when there's a much more efficient and enjoyable way to do it. So beyond just paying for the name, let's talk about, let's see. Checking notes. Where it shows up in real life. Of the house, read the area, compromise, location affects everything else. Yeah, I will add. When you're looking, I talk about the bullseye a lot with clients. So you got the house itself, everything inside the house. You got the community the house is in, and you got the area that the community's in. Those are the three rings of the bullseye. Those are we want to have like a checklist, basically. And this is what we do with clients, is you have a checklist of what are the things we're looking for in the home, what are the things we're looking for in the community, what are the things we're looking for in the overarching area. And from that, we're able to go outside in of, okay, if you're looking for certain lifestyle factors, we can cross off stuff. Because you don't want to love the house and hate the area. You don't want to hate the house and love the area, right? You want to find something where you really enjoy both, because you're spending a lot of money, which, yes, it's an investment, but you're still investing a lot of money that you ought to be getting your money's worth. And the best way to do that is, again, where you're not making compromises. Maybe you are optimizing more for one versus another, but you're not making compromises because you don't need to, unless you just like don't have a professional that's helping you actually explore and plan appropriately.
And that is possible. So if you are working with someone and you're not sure if he's professional or she's professional, just blink 3 times and we'll come help you. No, I'm kidding.
Come out, genie out the bottle. So we already kind of talked about this a little bit, but so when you're looking what actually matters, a few of the things that are useful research questions, just to get more specific on this, what are your weekday routines that you really enjoy? Like, do you like to go, like if you're self-employed, I love to go get a nice matcha at a coffee shop and have a good place to work. If there's not a good coffee shop for that, guess what? I'm going to be unhappy there. I really like the gym. I need a good gym. Shout out Core 24. Weekend habits. What do you like to do on the weekends? How far are you willing to, on your daily routine, how far are you willing to commute? How far are you not willing to commute? What sort of maybe seasonal factors or event factors or other things that might not be every day but will intermittently affect your commute or day-to-day life? What are you willing to put up with? What are you not willing to put up with? That's going to have a big effect on areas. And then also just like socially, lifestyle-wise, what do you like to do that you, again, need to be near somewhere that's going to let you do that? I love tennis. I got to be within 15, 20 minutes of some decent tennis courts. Whatever that is for you is going to be different. On the weekend, I like to go out to electronic music. There's only a couple of venues in Charlotte that have the majority of the electronic music scene, and I'm not trying to drive 45 minutes for that. I'm not trying to take a 45-minute Uber for that. I'm trying to maybe tops like 20, 25 minutes with traffic. Because when I'm on my off time, guess what? I'm not, because I'm always working for you. Give me a call. Even if it's 9 p.m. on a Friday. If you're trying to buy a house or sell a house, I'll pick up one way or another.
Try me.
I'll be ready. If you're watching this, you have precisely 30 hours until 9 p.m. on Friday.
Do with that what you will.
Set an alarm. Don't forget, or I'll call you. And just to bring that home, you're not just choosing like a house or a place to live. You're choosing what does your day-to-day life really feel like, and so you want to make sure you're taking all the different things that have a really good positive or negative impact on that day-to-day life into consideration, so you can get the best overall lifestyle. And just again, we want you to enjoy life. So, talking about a few specific ones that you might want to consider either more so or less so for specific reasons. I feel like I said that very abstractly. There are areas that are popular that we'll talk through so that you can know whether or not they're actually popular for reasons that you care about. If you're looking for walkability and energy, it is true. South End, probably NODA, uptown to the 4 wards in Charlotte, they're all going to... Actually, let's pull up the map so that people can see what they're trying to see. So if you're looking for walkability or just the ability to have ambulatory access, because you might want that access even if you are unable to walk. Here we go. All right, so looking at the map, so some of the common ones that people are looking for that like walkability, bikeability, rideability is going to be either uptown. South End's going to also have some good access, and so is NODA. The reason that those are so popular for this in particular is because light rail access, it runs southwest to northeast across the city, and so for that it is a good choice. That said, South End, it's mostly people that either just graduated college, got their first job out of college. It feels like college part 2. I think so too. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of good stuff around there. Just know that that's what you're getting yourself into. Uptown feels pretty corporate. There's a lot of banking, obviously. Most of the Charlotte banking is actually in Uptown. It's a lot of skyscrapers. It's really nice, however, especially because of the Bank of America Stadium. Whenever there's events over there, traffic can be absolutely horrific. On the weekend. During the week, like rush hour is kind of bad, but I mean, unless you are traveling right as everybody gets out of Bank of America or Wells or whatever, there's like the influx of traffic where everything backs up then, but it's honestly, it's not that much, like it doesn't last that long. And then NODA is like one of the more artsy districts, and we've talked about this so many times in videos. If you got questions, drop them in the comments. We read it, and I can recommend specific videos. Very artsy, a lot of fun, a lot of bars, restaurants. It's a good spot to just go chill, hang out. And The only downside I would say to that is like there's very few places you can actually purchase and own that are going to be walkable to all the stuff to do without having to at least take a long walk, right? Because a lot of the more residential stuff, there's a little bit back in here. Be prepared to shell out a little bit, make a substantial investment if that's what is the best fit for you. But beyond that is mostly going to just be rentals. It's a little bit like you have inventory to purchase, just not a ton. If you're looking for something that's going to be space and quiet, it depends on how much space you want, how quiet you want. So the suburbs, some of the real well-known suburbs that are great for great reasons, Mint Hill, Matthews, Ballantyne's technically a neighborhood, but it also has a suburb feel, even though it's technically in Charlotte. Weddington's incredibly affluent, and so is Waxhaw both, but like Weddington has a lot of equestrian properties. You go out towards Lake Wylie, there's some fantastic homes on Lake Wylie. There's also some more inexpensive waterfront, especially on the west side of the lake. So if you're looking for waterfront in that 1 to 2 million range, you can get some really decent homes in Lake Wylie. If you're trying to get something comparable, though, you're going to be spending about $1 million more to be on Lake Norman, if not more, just because it's a lot more established and it's been around forever. It's really well known. Like, for instance, the Trump National Golf Course is here, and that has hosted a lot of PGA events. It's got the Lake Norman Yacht Club. There's the Point at Lake Norman out there. I mean, if you want to spend $8 to $10 million on a home, you can do it out there. You can't do that on Lake Wylie. That said, if you're not directly on the water, there still is a lot of stuff in the like 600,000 to 800,000 range that's really phenomenal homes. And if you get a little bit away from the water and in maybe a little bit more of a track home type neighborhood, there's stuff that's a little bit more affordable than that. It's just Lake Norman's very established, that whole area. West side of the lake is a little bit less built out. Still some very established areas on the west side of the lake. If you're looking for larger lots, because that's one of the big requests we've gotten a lot of, especially like shops, Danny and Lindsay.
Yep, wood shops and carpenters and all type of woodwork.
Yep, we got another Mark Teal, coming to town also looking for a workshop. So especially if you're looking for that, that's more like acreage. I'll talk about acreage here in just a second. But if you're looking for just like a larger lot, you still want to be in a subdivision, Denver's going to have some great areas for you. That'll be a little bit more economical. Belmont it depends on what you're looking for in terms of the house, because it's geographically just kind of small, so it doesn't have a ton of options, and it got built out mainly in the 70s. So
Cute town.
It's really cute, yeah, and there's a lot to do there. They got a lot of events for the kids, festivals and things, and it's really, really, it's just a fun, really cute place here. They got the train that comes through. This is Everyday Market, it's my favorite cafe in really all of Charlotte. You can see, this is more recent imagery, you can see they've done a good job of keeping up everything nice. They decorate for the holidays, put up lights. They decorate all these trees. I forget, it's some sort of a fundraiser event, but they've got like probably 50 Christmas trees that get put up, and everybody decorates one, buys a tree and then decorates it for charity. That's a lot of fun. And then there's all these little row shops that are just a lot of fun here. It's a great spot. Again, that said, if you want to be in true Belmont, there's just limited spots where you're going to have homes. And so there are, like, this is a great example. People need to mow their grass, but there we go. That's some beautiful grass. Look at that grass.
Hank Hill will be proud.
I know I'm getting old when I catch myself watching those videos on YouTube of the guys that it's like lawn doctor or whatever. And it's like it's
perfectly cut grass and you just the lines and everything.
Yeah. I'll send you some of those too. But yeah, so there's neighborhoods like this over there. There's also some older, more established neighborhoods as well. It's like there's a lot of good stuff in Belmont. It's just it's got relatively low turnover. It depends on what you're looking for. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to beat a dead horse. Fort Mill, technically in South Carolina, everybody's always like, how far away is it? It's not that far. Don't worry. It's only 20 minutes from uptown. Maybe 30 with traffic. It's not that bad. And there's a lot of Fort Mill to go around. the schools in York County in general, I think, are rated top 1% in the U.S. I won't speak to specific school districts, but I know I've seen that on okay, I will say, I trashed on rankings earlier. I will say, if you have a large enough data set, like looking at things on a national scale, that's okay. For Harrisburg's been blowing up in the last few years. Honestly, I think it's really overpriced because you can get equivalent homes for less money elsewhere with comparable amenities, schools, that sort of thing. But it's become real popular for God knows why. Now, if you're looking for acreage, I said I was gonna. Oh, and I will talk about acreage. I just want to also touch on Huntersville because I forgot to. For Huntersville, very popular. West side is going to be a little bit less developed. East side's a little bit more developed. Birkdale Village is a huge draw to the area, which is a pro and a con. As a result, you are going to see a lot of traffic. A lot of traffic, especially at peak times. That said, it still is a nice community, and I know a lot of people that live there that love it. Love it.
I like Brookdale.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Good spot. Lots of amenities. For acreage, we'll just touch on a few that are some of our favorite spots. Number one's going to be Mount Pleasant, probably.
Yeah, I like Mount Pleasant. It's a cute little town.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not too far out. Has all the things that you need. It's a bunch of fresh air.
There's not much here. I'm gonna be so real because it's literally like this right here is the town.
Yeah, that's the town. If you go up the street, I think they got like wobs, which is like wet ass burgers.
Wait, what?
Go back.
Wait, what?
You go take a right. Take a right. Yep. Wait. Go down a little bit more. Right there, that little food shop.
Here?
Yep. What's it called?
Quality time. Oh my God.
Wet ass burgers.
That's hilarious.
Let's get it.
That's hilarious. I've been through there, but I've never noticed it.
Yeah. You know, bucket in a mop for those wet ass burgers. No Cardi B.
That's insane.
Yeah, but it was cool. It was cool. Nice fresh air. I got some good B-roll out there. They had the town hall next to the playground, and yeah, it was nice and small.
Yeah. And there's a lot of large acreage properties out there that you still have decent accessibility into the city where you can be into the city in like 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was a nice drive. There's a lot of like, you know, canopy streets, you know, there's pastures you can drive by, and depending on, you know, you might not like that, but I like that. You know, I like driving by and seeing cows and still be able to, you know, get my groceries.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for. They got it.
They got it.
Yeah. West side, well, I won't say west side of Monroe. I'll say west of downtown Monroe. This whole area here, it's like kind of Wesley Chapel, kind of Monroe, kind of Waxhaw. You'll also see a lot of acreage over that way as well, where it's just less developed. It is building out though, so those opportunities are, I won't say like fewer and far between or that they're going away. It's just, it is, if you want to be in an area that's stable and not going to just develop overnight, right? It's like, it's going to be an area where there's less inventory than some other areas, but it's also just a hard thing to find in general for acreage. Because you have to find a very unique sort of property that works in every other way, especially location-wise. I'll say south of Fort Mill, southeast of Fort Mill, kind of like Sun City area. You get out towards Spring Valley, Yorkdale. Like there's going to be some acre lots out that way. You go west of Lake Wylie, where you're in between Lake Wylie and Clover. There's some good acreage out that way. You also go up to Iron Station, Lowesville. There's some out that way. There's also some out past Gastonia, like Bessemer City and Shelby, and in between there, like Cherville. But that's like way out there. And honestly, in my opinion, if you're going that far out, you might as well just keep going to like Rutherfordton or Forest City or Lake Lure, because they're so beautiful. Then you're in the actual mountains. And if you're going out that far, you know, you might as well. Or go out to like Newton or Conover. I really like Troutman. Troutman also looks like it's way out there, but it's honestly, because it's 77, you can just shoot down into the city in way less time than you'd think. Troutman down to Charlotte is, I kid you not, you're going to look at the map and be like, what? How? It's like 45 minutes. 50 minutes because it's on the highway. It's really like it's not. I went at rush hour. And I took the tollway because I'm bougie.
Got to.
But it was. I think it was less than 45 minutes to get all the way to home.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Not bad at all. And then I will also say Fairview and out past there a little bit. There's some good acreage out that way. Fairview to Unionville. And also out between like Locust, Stanfield, Red Cross, there's some real nice acreage around, and Midland too, all through there. Also developing a little bit, but especially if you're looking, because this is one of the questions I got from Mark, if you're looking for an area that's not at risk of having a ton of commercial come in behind it, or at least less at risk of that, so you can be in a more stable area and just not have to worry about that, be able to enjoy that you're, like if you don't want to be around people, that you won't have to worry about being around too many people. Honestly, I think going around that like Sandfield, Locust, Red Cross area is going to be a nice happy medium, especially a little bit north of there, because it's far enough out that there's not going to be a whole lot of warehousing or anything like that going in there, and it is not near natural water. It's not near the rivers or lakes, and so it is very unlikely that you'd be getting any sort of big data centers or things like that. So I think we kind of covered everything. So in terms of you finding the right area for you, guess what? I've had over 400 conversations helping people figure that out, and so I put together a quiz that summarizes all those conversations into 7 quick questions, takes less than 30 seconds, helps you streamline your research process so you can make the most of the time that you're already investing. You can scan the code or tap the link down below and be able to take the quiz, get your results, and find out what is going to be the best for you. Thanks for tuning in. We love you. We appreciate you. We are always available for you, including at 9 p.m. on Friday night, which now you only have 29 and a half hours, so you better put it in your calendar or you will forget. And I will find you and I will call you if you don't call me, because we love you.
Love you.
You can call, text, or WhatsApp, scan the code to book a call, or you can go back a second in the video or not. Take the quiz, or reach out to us. Either one. Up to you.
Looking forward to hearing from you. If you get taken, we will find you.
Yeah.
Liam Nielsen.
Yep.
You will buy that house.
You will find a place that you love.
Amen.
Alrighty. Have a great weekend.
Take care, guys.
Peace.